welcome back to my channel. Yeah, so for this video I'll be reacting to yet another scary animated horror film. Yeah, 2 horror films. So without making the intro way too long, let's get into it. No, that's the wrong one. So without making the intro way too long, let's get into this reaction video. The Strange Woman.
It all started when I was 8 years old and we had just moved to Michigan.
Damn, bro, why are you looking so angry though?
One night, my older brother and I were playing video games on our old PlayStation.
Cool, I miss playing video games.
In the middle of our session, I got a little bit thirsty and headed to the kitchen to get something to drink. When I was walking to the fridge, I noticed this old small shape in the woods outside, but I figured it was just a tree stump and thought nothing further of it. So I grabbed my drink and went back to play with my brother until bedtime. In the middle of the night, though, I woke up to the sound of crunching leaves. The little 8-year-old me was immediately scared.
What?
I remember my heart was pounding so fast. I got out of bed, pulled aside the curtain, and stared into the woods. But all I could see was this.
Why would you you stay by the woods? Why would you just open the curtains and just stare into the woods? Just go to sleep or something. Why would you stare into the woods like that? God.
Same shape that I'd seen earlier that night. Eventually I managed to calm myself down and went back to bed.
With the curtains open?
The next morning when I woke up, I thought that I'd probably just had a bad dream. I'd soon learn just how wrong I was.
Girl.
I went downstairs for breakfast and poured myself a big bowl of cereal, but just when I was about to take the first bite, I suddenly felt sick. I could feel the hot puddle of drool in my mouth and my stomach twisted like it'd been tied into a knot.
He spiritually poisoned you.
I rushed to the bathroom. When I threw up, all I could see were slimy and green things. I hadn't eaten anything bad. In fact, I had barely eaten the day before. There was nothing.
The narrator has an interesting accent.
To retch like this. My mother walked in to help me clean up and then took me to see a doctor. The doctor ran a couple of tests on me, but the results showed nothing out of the ordinary. He told us to just wait a couple of more days and see if it would pass. Luckily, it did. The following few months were calm and free of any strange incidents.
Until
then, my cousin came over. We were playing on the trampoline
and
I felt sick again. This time, it was a bit different though. I didn't throw up. I just felt really sick and anxious. I went to
Stop jumping, girl, then.
I wasn't feeling well, and she said that I probably just needed to eat something to feel better. Eventually, my cousin went home, and the day was perfectly normal again, until I went to bed.
Where's your brother?
I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of crunching leaves. I looked towards the window, and what I saw made my stomach drop. It was a woman's figure. I couldn't move at all, and my chest and right arm were hurting so badly. I somehow managed to finally find my voice and screamed as loud as I could. My parents burst into the room. My mother called 911 while my father stayed with me, trying to comfort me.
Damn, father is cute.
I think I just fainted. When I opened my eyes again,
I bet you that lady's a witch. She's a witch. She did some witchcraft on her to make it feel like that. It's something. I don't know.
I was lying in a hospital bed. I ended up staying for 2 more days until I had properly recovered. And years passed, and that strange woman didn't appear again.
Oh, you even grew hair.
Around the time I turned 16. My family had to move to New York.
Sweet 16.
On the day we were supposed to leave Michigan, I was finishing packing up my room. All of a sudden, I felt that strange wave of nervousness course through my body again. I immediately spun toward the window and froze. There she was, the same woman.
In broad daylight?
She was standing there in a long torn-up dress in the very same spot, and looking directly.
What do you want, honey?
Except in the daylight, I could see her face better. She had no hair and was missing both eyes. Just like when I was 8.
That's hella
I couldn't
creepy.
breathe or move at all. I heard my mom calling my name, but I couldn't answer. Shortly after, she knocked on my door. As soon as she entered and saw me having a seizure on the floor, she screamed. Then something really strange happened.
What?
When my father ran in, having heard my mother scream, she was looking out the window and said to him, "Don't call the cops. She just wants to play. Give her a chance." My mother stopped caring about me and kept repeating the same phrase over and over.
Mama is hypnotized. This, oh God. Jeez.
Again, I thought she'd gone crazy. But by the time the police arrived at the house, she had stopped repeating the words and was like my usual mom again. I was rushed to the emergency room and got an MRI to see if I had brain damage or something. But they told me that my brain looked perfectly healthy. We moved.
It was witchcraft.
And I thought that that would be the end of all that. A few years later in New York, I had found a job at a local store. I was just about finished with my night shift and about to lock the front door when I suddenly felt like someone was watching me.
Bro, this I don't like night shift. Night shift work where you have to like go out and leave not at night or whatever, just alone in your office or whatever. It's so creepy, it's so scary. I don't know how people do it though. Like I can imagine the pay is well, but like no, if I'm alone, especially being alone, I cannot do that. No.
I turned around and the woman with no eyes was standing right there.
Bruh.
It had to be a nightmare. It just had to be.
Jesus, I will faint.
I passed out almost immediately. I didn't even have time to scream.
What does this lady want though?
I could see flashing red and blue lights. The emergency technician said that my heart had stopped beating for about 60 seconds. The woman with no eyes hasn't appeared since then. Maybe she thinks that she finally managed to kill me. Yet, I'm still alive.
So soft. Yet, I'm still alive. Yes, girl, you still... A dead body next to my apartment. Bro, I'm sure it stinks in the place.
In my senior year of college,
Honey, how is you walking?
Lived in an off-campus apartment on the 3rd floor of this big old townhouse. In the mudroom/closet area right by the door was where we kept our cat's litter box. Now, most people can tell you that unless it's right after your cat uses the box, it doesn't smell like poop. Usually just the cat litter smell. Clay, Febreze, whatever it is. So
I don't even know how it
about a
smells.
week, I noticed it smelled like death in that little corner. And I tore the area apart and the rest of the apartment looking for rogue turds, but found absolutely nothing. Then right in the middle of the mystery stink ordeal, I had to leave for a week to go on a work trip. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a welcome break from what was massively a disgusting little problem. And I quite openly hoped that my boyfriend...
Girl is sliding up in the streets.
But to my horror, it only got worse, with my boyfriend texting me one night with the bad news that the smell seemed to have spread into the hallway outside. I felt bad for him, but there was nothing much I could do other than advise him to just call the landlord and see what she could make out of it. He says okay, and he'll call her in the morning and keeps me updated on everything that happens. The next morning I'm getting texts off of him like every 20 minutes, stuff like, just called landlady and she's on her way. Then I get stuff like, she thinks it's coming from another apartment. Okay, it's definitely coming from another apartment. Which
you should just point out like,
not there. But, oh my god, was that jumping the gun, because things were about to get way, way worse. The last text I get is, she just called the cops. I reply with, please don't tell me someone died next door to us.
Wow.
My boyfriend.
She just jumped into conclusions like that. She doesn't even know. Maybe just the smell of a dead rat or something. But she already thinks somebody that died. Come on, lady. Come on.
Friend starts typing, but then stops. I go into full panic mode, trying to work out what it might be.
He's
because
stressed.
I can't face the thought that our neighbor actually died. And we were living next to a corpse for like weeks.
How do you know he died?
Because we were the jerks and didn't check on her. Then after about an hour, my worst fears are confirmed. The landlady gave some cop permission to bust the door down, and when he did, my boyfriend said he and the landlady literally ran from the sight that greeted them. Our neighbor's dead body was lying there, face down in the hallway, with one arm out like they were reaching for the door when they fell. That piece of hallway ran perfectly adjacent to our mudroom, where we keep the cat's litter tray, which is why it smelled the worst there, not in the hallway. The whole time I've been thinking to myself, frickin' cat, shaking my head and scrubbing the floor. And there had been a dead body just on the other side of the wall, not even 2 or 3 feet away. We always keep up with our neighbors now, even if they're more than capable of looking after themselves.
Look, girl, but it's not your fault. It's not her fault. She wouldn't have known that, like, the girl is dead or whatever. But, like, okay, if you did keep up with her, maybe you would have, like, known something is wrong and stuff like that. If you're that close to your neighbor at that moment. Because some neighbors just don't want to, like, talk to you all the time. You'd be like, okay, hi, okay, like, leave me alone. I want to be alone. Like, for instance, I'd be like, I want to be alone. Why you keep on bothering me? I want to be alone. So, like, nobody would know if something like that had happened to me. But it's not her fault. She didn't know. Nobody knew.
Else. Having that network, that kind of community, you don't realize how important it is until it's far too late.
So this was a very, very interesting story. Those are very interesting stories. The second story is, okay, both of the stories are kind of very realistic, because people do see things, and like spirits and like ghosts and stuff. I think those things do exist, especially spirits and witches and like, I don't know, those things really do exist. And the second story also, like, yes, things can happen where you don't know, like, your neighbor, something is going on with your neighbor, if like they passed away or probably even murdered sometimes, I don't know, but like you just can't keep up with these things. I don't know. They're very interesting, not so scary because I'm not the one in the situation, but like they're very, very interesting to hear. So anyways, guys, that was all for the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Just click that button. Yes. And also, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, alien species, AIs, Martians, anybody you want to share it with, just do the most. And that is all for the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Without any further ado, peace, love, and everything nice. Mwah. Bye.